Aloha everybody, what's going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video we're going to talk about Double XP Weekend Extended and the results from it, continuing on with the Duty of Care livestream. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, so this information was presented by Mod Mike on stream, so we're going to jump into it, the Double XP Weekend Extended results that we just had a couple of weeks ago. So, as you imagine, first off, they changed the Double XP Weekend, how it functions, to give players much more flexibility. Basically rebalance it to make it feel more rewarding for most players, but also, not make players feel forced to be glued to the game for the 3 days that a standard weekend would last for. That said, on a standard Double XP weekend, less than 1% of players actually took advantage of Double XP longer than 36 hours, which is over 12 hours a day over the course of those 3 days that they normally run for. That's incredibly unhealthy, and no one should ever be playing that much, so I'm really glad, and it's great that Jagex tried to alleviate that, try to get players to not feel the pressures and stress and putting themselves under those kinds of conditions for Double XP. And in that said, stretching it out to those 10 days has made it far more beneficial for the vast majority of us, considering we're not in that less than 1%. So let's look at some of the figures here. How did it go down in terms of people gaining XP? So it appears that 11% of all players used up all 36 hours of their Double XP by the end of the 10-day period. I myself is one of those players. Love to hear if you were as well. Also, 47% of all players who took part in Double XP Weekend used at least half of their Double XP. The graph or the chart that you're seeing here on screen basically shows that, most people who did use up all of those 36 hours, they got it after the initial 3-day weekend, which is good for Jagex because it does let them know that the extension period, extending it to 10 days, was well utilized by the community and is something that they look to continue going forward. Now, a couple of other little interesting statistics is for the top 3 skills, we have Herblore, which gained a total of 244 trillion XP over the 10 days, which is up from 160% back in July, which is obviously astronomical and largely probably due to the fact that they did increase the skill to 120, so people are going to be utilizing their Double XP for that. Next up, we got Summoning at 180 trillion, which is up from 6%. That's, to be expected. Summoning is one of the biggest ones that most people do for Double XP Weekend due to its cost and, obviously the amount of XP you can gain in a short amount of time. And then finally, we got Invention at 140 trillion, up from 52%, which is actually a pretty substantial increase from the last Double XP weekend. Probably people really utilizing that 10-day period to its fullest. Now that said, the final group of statistics I'm going to share is the top 5 XP player gains for any one given skill. These are pretty interesting. Don't have the name of the players, but if you're out there and you know who you are. So first off, we have Summoning. Somebody got 199 million XP over the course of the Double XP weekend. That's practically 200 mil. I'm sure they did get 200 mil, but wow, that's quite the feat. That's pretty crazy. Next up, we have Farming at 195 million, which is also pretty crazy considering it is a highly time-gated skill, although they could have really utilized their Ultra Growth Potions or Magic Beans depending on when they got those gains, so it's very possible that that's how they achieved it. I don't know. Moving on, we got Smithing at 185 million, which is really amazing to see too as well. Probably cost them a pretty penny to get that. Next up, we have actually a combat skill at range. That's 153 mil. Probably done it, at the Abyss or something similar. And finally, we have Thieving at 124. I imagine they did it at Safe Cracking, being as those are pretty astronomical gains per hour, even not on a Double XP weekend. So yeah, if you're out there and you're one of those people, that is crazy that you're able to achieve that in 36 36 hours, regardless of how you chose to stretch that over the 10-day period. Really amazing. And yeah, it just goes to show the kind of things the player base can achieve, really. Anyways, that all said, Jagex is looking forward to repeating this in the future. This double XP weekend, having this style again next year, is something we can pretty much guarantee looking forward. Then they also say that they can always change the durations, etc. You know, play around with the numbers, maybe make it last longer, 48 hours, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That's assuming, you know, the community wants it. However, it does seem that everything went fairly well this time around. So it's likely that they may not even change anything. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they'll let us know as time gets closer to the next one. And I'll definitely let you know here on the channel, obviously, when that comes around. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.